We have both of the intake pipes made by PPE right here. These are brand new pre-production units. Pretty cool to get my hands on these. This is the factory part that you would be replacing. This is the intake duct that goes into the turbo. There's a couple big differences on these, and I'll point those out. Now currently I have the S&B pipe installed back there. That's part of a kit with the S&B airbox. I was never happy with the S&B airbox, so I'm running factory airbox currently. What I'm gonna do is pull off that. There's some issues that I have with that I think PPE corrected. One other thing, well, several things, but I want to show why there's such a big deal on this. So this is all baffling inside there, and we're going to go inside with the borescope in a moment. But what I want to show you real quick, just as a quick example, we got a regular tennis ball, stick it in there, flies right out. You take the same tennis ball, throw it in here, and it's stuck, so it does not come out. So that's a choke point there, but then at the same time, it doesn't even make it through that bend right there. So there is an improvement on just size. This will not affect your mass airflow sensor or anything like that. This just helps the air get from the airbox after the mass airflow sensor and into the turbo quicker, easier. It's just a beautiful piece, one. And the other part that I like about it is this little bracket. Well, you got this bracket. These will be black on the production units. Again, this is pre-production unit. And this little slip joint right there, nobody else is utilizing that. The factory uses it, and that keeps everything intact. The factory has its own grommet in the back, as well as that slip style right there. PPE is the only company that retained that. Let me tell you why that's a big deal. See that rubbing, or you hear the rubbing, as well as the movement on there. Hopefully we alleviate that. There are a couple rub points on the S&B that I have, and I'll point those out whenever I pull the pipe off, which I'm actually going to do that right now. So we got the forged carbon right here. We have the regular carbon fiber. Again, these are pre-preg carbon fiber to start with. It's all hand laid, is my understanding of this. Look how nice these pieces are. So what we also have is the S&B pipe. I now have that off. We have the factory one right back here, and then we have junk right here that doesn't fit on anything, but we had to show it for comparison because look how nicely everything flows, nice and rounded. Even the factory nice and rounded. And then you got these nice sharp bends. So let's just get rid of that junk, and then we'll move on to these. And the S&B came out with the airbox. Like I said, I didn't like the airbox, but this pipe is magnificent. It's great for adding noise, and it has a few drawbacks, and one of which is that it does rub. This was rubbing up against the firewall here. It rubs up against the pipe near the intake, which it's all minor. It's just surface, but again, it is rubbing. So there is some concern there, and the PPE is actually supposed to eliminate any rubbing issues. All right, I gotta be honest with you. I brought this borescope right here so we can look inside, and the image is just, it's not going to camera very well. So what we're going to do is go old-fashioned with a flashlight, all right? So this is factory pipe. This is where the air is going to inlet through here. This is after so the mass airflow sensor is gonna be here, and this is our intake. So you can see the baffling inside there. Now if I flip it over and we look at where the air would exit, you can see the tight radius. Now what we're looking at is, we really don't need the flashlight, but the air is going to enter in through here, and this is where it gets crimped down. So there's just restrictions in there, and that's the big plus with the pipe. There's no restrictions. It is said to be a 70% increase in airflow through here. And that's just air that goes straight from your intake right into the turbo as quick as possible, and there's air volume there ready to go. They're working on a replacement unit which will come with the kit once it's completed. So we're going to go ahead and just use the factory one, put that on there, and we're going to slip this into place. Let's take a look at the grommet that they use. It's comparable to factory, if not stronger. So there's the factory one. And let me show you the S&B one real quick. And mine is obviously, it's seen better days. All right, let's install this. All right, so hopefully it came out in the video, but what I did was I tightened the clamp closest to the turbocharger, and then I pulled on the pipe and pulled it at the turbo so I can feel it hit the turbo, and then I pulled it back away and then tightened that last clamp right there. And I did that because that'll allow for some vibration. I also made sure that I had it in the V-style clip right up here. So that's in there, and the backside did click into place for that grommet. What I'm talking about is, this is the V-style clip, make sure that goes in. And then this is the grommet, make sure that grommet clicks on, and that is set. Now, immediately, let me grab my flashlight. Immediately I can notice that there's a lot more clearance back there on the firewall, so we're not gonna have any rubbing. Right back here, we have no rubbing right there, and that is awesome. I'm sure it's hard to see, obviously, through the camera, but it's very tight right at the intake right there. So what we're gonna do now is get the airbox lid on, get the PPE pipe in there. Look how cool that looks inside there. All right, let's roll. Now what I've got on there is a little bit of soapy water that helps to keep it slide around, or to keep its ability to slide around. All right, so I'm putting the little clamps, the clips back in the back of the airbox. We're gonna drop this into place. Oh, wow. That fit nice. All right. That is nice. I can't believe how well that fit right now, to be honest with you. That was just too easy. They don't need to be super tight because you're not under boost right here. This is just pulling air in. But you also don't want any leakage. Wow. How cool is that? That's in there good. Plug in your mass airflow sensor. We are good. Just kidding. I got these airbox. So the PPE forged carbon pipe is installed to the factory airbox. Fit perfect. Honestly, better than expected. I'm blown away. I knew it was going to fit well, but I didn't think it was just going to drop into place this well. To be totally honest with you. Everything's nice. There's no noises. Look how cool that looks. Let me get the flashlight. So they are aware of the PPE logo being up on the top there, and it is going to be brought down. So again, this is a pre-production piece, and it still fit absolutely amazing. So that's cool. Now, I will fire it up. I'm not expecting much of a noise difference, if any, because I already had the S&B pipe back there. But for those of you with the factory unit, you will notice a difference on sound and pedal response. Let's fire this up. If you've seen the other videos before, you know that I had a K&N air intake on this truck before, and that was my absolute favorite intake. Made the most noise, the best noise. Fuel mileage was not hurt, and the issue with it was the top of the airbox was actually open to the engine underhood. This aerate intake that I have here is going to eliminate that, and it's going to go to a dry filter, and that's coming up in the next video. See ya.